Could you please describe what are the challenges the customer all over the world faces today?
Well, I think we live in an environment where cyber threats are growing and they're becoming more sophisticated, and we're having to deal with a bigger and bigger volume of threats. So it's a very fast-moving environment, and at the same time working practices are changing. Just a few years ago, system administrators had to concern themselves with protecting the traditional workplace. Now they have to deal with employees who are, so to speak, always on. They do business at home, they do business in airport lounges, on trains, in internet cafes. So they have to protect employees wherever they happen to be working now.
What are the major industry trends you see now?
Well, I think this sort of mobile working is very, very big trend at the moment. I think not only are people working in different places, but they're using many different kinds of devices. The days when a member of staff sat at a desktop and that was all they did to work have gone. People are now using laptops, and of course increasingly they're using handheld devices, smartphones, with many different operating systems. But it means that employees can actually do business anywhere, and they're doing businesses with new types of technology, and we're starting to see cyber criminals develop threats for smartphones, for example, which didn't really exist in the past.
If we consider a technology something we're using to build our future, what kind of future you're selling today, you're providing today as a market leader?
Well, I think from our point of view, what we're selling is, if you like, follow me security. A security really which is designed to protect consumers and also businesses, however they do business. Because the world actually might be a big place, but with the internet really, it's almost like a single country. People can do business from anywhere, but it also means that criminals can attack people from anywhere in the world. So it's very important to provide protection which defends the members of staff and the business as a whole, however they do business now, in the many different ways that they do business.
Organizers of InfoSecurity Europe pay special attention to educational program for visitors. What knowledge is the most important for users today from your point of view?
Well, I think people really need to understand what the nature of the threat is. I think people's perception of the threat tends to fall behind where the real threat is, because we live in a very fast-moving time. So I think an awareness of what the nature of the threat is, what sort of data criminals want to get hold of and what they want to do with that is very, very important. And in particular for businesses, I think, we're starting to see the emergence of very targeted attacks rather than the speculative general attacks we've seen in the last few years.
Could you please share with us your vision of emerging markets?
Sure. Well, I think clearly the world has different stages of development, and although it's a small place with the internet now, still there are differences in different types of market. And in Russia and Eastern Europe, and also let's say in Latin America and the Middle East, we have a smaller degree of development than we do say in North America or Europe. But actually, because the internet makes the world a small village in a way, it's the same sorts of threats which are attacking businesses in the Middle East and Russia. And the very fact that somebody can, in Latin America, let's say in Brazil, attack somebody in Russia, or somebody in Russia can attack somebody in Canada, or somebody in Australia can attack somebody in Romania or Hungary, it really means that, the same sorts of threats will attack all kinds of people, whatever level of development they've got. And actually, although we have different stages of development, I think it's true today that there are very few places now which are not becoming reliant on technology for doing business. And so really all of us have to make sure we defend ourselves effectively.